Tell your daughter to take that lie back, my sister snapped. At Easter after her son smashed my girl's tablet and blamed her for it. My mom nodded. She always makes trouble, I said. Understood. Right before dessert, the broken tablet photos and timestamps hit the family group chat, and nobody at the table had a word left. Hey everyone, just before we jump in, if you've been watching our videos and you're not subscribed yet, this is your sign to do it. It helps us grow, it keeps the content coming, and it honestly means a lot to the whole team. We appreciate every single one of you. Now let's get into today's story. Easter at my mother's house has rules. Rule 1. My sister's children do not get blamed for anything. Rule 2. If something breaks, my daughter did it. Rule 3. I am supposed to agree. This year, I broke Rule 3. Not with a fight, not with yelling, not with some big dramatic speech at the table. I broke it with timestamps. My daughter picked out her dress 3 days early, a yellow one with white flowers. She stood in front of the bathroom mirror and asked me if Grandma would like it. I told her Grandma would love it. She is 7. She still believes that dressing up for someone means they will be kind to you. We stopped at CVS on the way. She wanted to bring Grandma a card. She picked one with a bunny on it and wrote inside it herself in blue crayon, "Happy Easter, Grandma. Love, Lily." She dotted the I in Lily with a heart. She does that with everything she writes. I watched her in the rearview mirror, holding the card on her lap like it was a passport, like it would get her in. We pulled into the driveway at 12:15. My sister Megan's car was already there. It is always already there. She arrives early. She helps set the table. She brings the main dish. She picks the playlist. By the time I show up, Easter already belongs to her. I am a guest in my mother's house the same way a temp worker is a guest in an office. Present, useful when needed, and easy to forget. Lily ran to the door. My mom opened it. She hugged Lily the way you hug a neighbor's kid. One arm, quick pat, eyes already past her to the kitchen timer. She took the card without reading it and set it on the counter next to the paper towels. Megan's son Caleb was already in the living room. He is 9. He had an iPad, a bag of Skittles, and the entire couch. Lily walked in and sat on the floor next to him. He did not look at her. I carried the potato salad I made into the kitchen. My mom was arranging flowers. She looked at my dish and said, "Oh, I already made potatoes. You can put that in the back of the fridge." I put it in the back of the fridge. This is what I mean by rules. There is a system in this house. It is quiet. It is efficient. And it has been running since before Lily was born. Megan's family sits in the center. My family sits where there is room. Nobody decided this. It just is. Like weather. I should tell you about the tablet. 6 months ago, I told Lily that if she saved half the money, I would pay the other half. She was 6 at the time. She started doing extra chores. Sweeping the porch for 50 cents. Folding laundry for $1. Organizing the shoe rack for 75 cents. She kept a mason jar on her dresser with a label she wrote herself in green marker, "My Tablet Fund." Or every Sunday she dumped the jar on her bed and counted. She kept a handwritten log. A little notebook with dates and amounts. She drew a thermometer on paper and colored it in as the total grew. When she hit $140, she jumped off her bed and ran to me yelling, "Daddy, I did it! I did it!" We went to Best Buy together. She picked a purple case. She set it up herself. She named it. The first app she downloaded was a drawing app because she wants to be an artist. She had 47 drawings saved on that tablet. Flowers, houses, a portrait of me with a big head and tiny legs that I screenshotted and saved. She brought the tablet to Easter. She always brings it. It is the first thing she ever earned. Before the blessing, Megan told the kids to go play outside while the adults finished setting up. Lily took her tablet to the porch. Caleb followed her to the backyard. I watched them through the kitchen window for a minute, then went back to helping with plates. What I did not think about in that moment, but what mattered later, was the doorbell camera. I installed it 5 months ago because Amazon packages kept disappearing from my mother's porch. I set it up myself, paid for the subscription, showed my mom how to use the app. She forgot about it within a week. I never forgot. The camera covers the porch, the steps, and about 15 feet of the backyard where the concrete patio meets the grass. It records continuously. Time-stamped, cloud-stored. I know this because I set it up to catch package thieves. It caught something else today. The scream came from the backyard at 1:47 p.m. I know the exact time because I checked. Later, when it mattered. I was in the kitchen cutting bread when Lily came through the back door holding two halves of her tablet. The screen was cracked straight down the middle. The purple case was hanging off one side. She was shaking. Not crying yet. Shaking. The way children shake when they are trying to hold it together because they do not know yet if they are allowed to fall apart. Caleb walked in behind her. Hands in his pockets. Face blank. He looked at Megan and said, "She dropped it." 3 words. That is all it took. Megan did not get up. She did not go outside. She did not look at the tablet. She did not ask Lily what happened. She did not ask Caleb to explain. She turned to Lily, who was still standing there holding the two halves of something she worked 6 months to earn, and said, "Tell your daughter to take that lie back." She said it to me, not to Lily. Like my daughter was not even in the room. Like Lily was a product I had failed to control. Lily said, "I didn't drop it. He threw it." Her voice was small. She said it the way children say true things when they already know nobody will believe them. Megan did not blink. She said, "Caleb, did you throw her tablet?" Caleb said, "No, she was waving it around and it fell." He said it like he was reading off a menu. Bored? Comfortable? He has told this kind of lie before, not because he is a bad kid, because it has always worked. My mom was at the head of the table. She had been watching. She looked at Lily. Then she looked at me. Then she said the sentence I have heard in some version at every family gathering for the last 3 years. She always makes trouble. She said it the way you say, "It's supposed to rain tomorrow." Flat, settled, not up for discussion, 4 minutes. That is how long it took. At 1:47, the tablet broke. At 1:51, my daughter was convicted. No investigation, no questions, no pause. 4 minutes, less time than it takes to boil an egg. I looked at Lily. She was looking at me. Her eyes were asking the question she has asked me with those eyes at Thanksgiving, at Christmas, at the 4th of July. Are you going to do something? Each time before, I did not. Each time I told her in the car, "It's okay, baby." Each time she believed me a little less. This is not the first time Caleb has broken something of Lily's. In the last 14 months, a pair of headphones at Thanksgiving that Megan said Lily left on the floor. A snow globe at Christmas that my mother said Lily was being careless with. A bracelet at a birthday party that Megan said was cheap and would have broken anyway. Each time I replaced the item quietly. Each time Lily said, "It's okay, Daddy," in a voice that sounded less okay than the time before. An aunt sitting across the table said, "Well, she does tend to exaggerate. Remember Christmas?" She said it like it was common knowledge, like everyone in the family had agreed on it, and I realized they had, because my mother told them. 2 weeks earlier, my cousin David mentioned at a gas station that my mom had been telling people Lily had behavioral issues. He said it casually, like he was repeating weather. My daughter has straight A's. Her teachers describe her as kind and quiet. She has never had a single disciplinary note, but my mother had spent months telling the extended family she was a problem child. The accusation at this table was not spontaneous. The jury was poisoned before we arrived. I said, "Understood." 1 word, that is all I gave them. Megan looked satisfied. Mom looked relieved. The table resumed. Under the table, I opened the Ring app on my phone. The footage was clear. Caleb grabbed the tablet off the porch railing where Lily had set it down. He held it over his head with both hands. Lily was sitting on the porch steps 6 feet away, her hands in her lap. She was not touching it. She was not near it. Caleb threw the tablet straight down onto the concrete patio. It hit face first. The crack pattern radiated from the center. Total destruction. The concrete patio is in the yard. The porch steps where Lily sat are wooden. You cannot drop something onto concrete from 6 feet away on a wooden porch. The physics do not work. Then Caleb looked at the pieces, looked back at the house, and walked inside with his hands in his pockets. Lily ran to the broken pieces. She picked them up. She came inside holding them. You know the rest. I screenshot the keyframes. I saved the timestamp. I put my phone back in my pocket. I ate a piece of ham. I answered a question about work. I passed the rolls. My mother caught my arm in the hallway when I went to use the bathroom. She pulled me close. Her voice was soft, almost sweet, like she was offering me something generous. Listen to me. Just let her say sorry. It doesn't matter who did what. If she says sorry, your sister calms down, we eat dessert, and everyone goes home happy. She didn't do it. Mom. My mother's expression did not change, not even a little. I know it's frustrating, but it's one afternoon. Just let it go. For me. For me, not for Lily. Not for the truth. For her. For the afternoon. For the image. She patted my arm and walked back to the kitchen. I stood in that hallway for 8 seconds. I counted them. Those 8 seconds are where disbelief ended and controlled fury began. Not the loud kind. The kind that settles into your chest and stays perfectly still and waits. When I came back to the table, Megan had escalated. I think she needs to apologize. To Caleb, in front of everyone. If she's going to make accusations, she should learn that words have consequences. My mother nodded. That seems fair. 11 people at the table. Not one of them said, maybe we should hear her side. Not one of them said, you see, are we sure? Not one. Lily was standing at the edge of the room. She had not sat back down since the accusation. She was holding the broken tablet halves against her chest like she was protecting them from further damage. Her yellow dress with the white flowers was the brightest thing in the room, and she was the smallest person in it. Megan looked at me. Well? I looked at Lily. She looked back at me. Her eyes were not asking anymore. They were accepting. She already knew what was coming. She has been through this before. I should have stopped it. I should have said no. I should have picked her up and walked out right then. But I did not. Because leaving meant the lie becomes the official record. Leaving meant Caleb's version wins permanently. Leaving meant every future holiday starts with, remember when he stormed out because he couldn't handle the truth about his daughter? I needed the record corrected. At this table. In front of these people. With evidence. So I said to Lily, go ahead, baby. I will never forgive myself for those 4 words. My daughter walked to where Caleb was sitting. She stood in front of him. He was eating a roll. He did not look up. She said, in a voice so quiet that the aunt at the far end leaned forward to hear, I'm sorry. She said it looking at the floor. She apologized for something she did not do to the person who did it, in front of every adult who should have protected her. Megan said, good, thank you. Now can we enjoy Easter? My mother smiled. The table relaxed. Someone asked about the weather this weekend. Nobody noticed what I noticed. Caleb looked up at Lily. He was not confused. He was not guilty. He had a small, comfortable grin. He mouthed 2 words. Told you. Then he went back to his role. Megan reached for her phone. She was not checking the time. She was texting her husband, who was sitting 3 seats away. I caught a glimpse of the screen because her phone was face up next to her water glass. The message read, he's making a big deal again, LOL. Her husband's reply was a single laughing emoji. Then a second message from him. Classic. They were mocking the situation in real time, while my daughter was still holding the broken halves of something she worked 6 months to earn. Lily walked back toward her seat, but her seat was gone. While she was apologizing, my mother had rearranged the table. Lily's original chair, the one between me and the aunt, had been pulled away. In its place was a folding chair from the hallway closet. It was at the far corner of the table. No placemat, no water glass, no napkin. My mother said, sit here for now, sweetie, give everyone some space. Caleb stayed in his original seat. Right next to Grandma, full plate, refilled glass, cushion on his chair. My daughter sat in the folding chair. It wobbled when she sat down. She steadied it with one hand and put the broken tablet on her lap with the other. She did not ask for food. She did not complain. She did not cry. She just sat there, balanced on a wobbly chair at the edge of a table she was exiled from, in a house she entered 4 hours ago wearing a dress she picked out because she wanted to look pretty for Grandma. With a card she wrote in blue crayon sitting unread on the counter next to the paper towels. I picked up my water glass, took a sip, set it down, and opened my phone under the table. I had already saved the screenshots. I had already saved the timestamps. Now I composed the message. I attached the photos. The footage frame showing Caleb holding the tablet over his head. The footage frame showing Lily sitting on the porch steps 6 feet away. The timestamp, 1:47 p.m. The concrete where it hit. The porch where Lily sat. The distance between them. I typed 3 words above the photos. Check your phones. I did not send it yet. I put my phone down. I ate a piece of sweet potato casserole. I waited. Dessert was almost ready. My mother stood up and walked to the kitchen counter. She picked up the pecan pie. She carried it to the table with both hands like she was delivering a peace treaty. She set it in the center, right between the empty casserole dish and the rolls basket. "Who wants pie?" She said it with a smile. The crisis was over in her mind. The daughter apologized. The table calmed down. The image survived. Now there would be pie, and then hugs at the door, and then everyone would drive home and the system would continue. I said, "1 second." I pressed send. Every phone at the table buzzed within 3 seconds. Some vibrated against the wood. One made a sound like a small bell. Megan's phone, face up next to her water glass, lit up with the notification. The family group chat. The one with all 14 people. The one that includes Aunt Carol in Phoenix, Uncle Jim in Dallas, Cousin David, Cousin Maria, and everyone else who was not sitting at this table but was about to see what happened at it. Megan looked at her phone. She tapped the notification. The photos loaded. The first image. Caleb, standing in the backyard, holding the tablet over his head with both hands. Lily visible in the background, sitting on the porch steps, hands in her lap. Timestamp. 1:47 p.m. The second image. The tablet midair, leaving Caleb's hands, heading for the concrete. Lily has not moved. Still sitting. Still 6 feet away. The third image. The tablet on the concrete. Face down, shattered. Caleb looking at the pieces. Lily standing up on the porch steps, mouth open, running toward it. Below the images, the text I wrote, "Check your phones." Megan stared at her screen. My mother picked up her phone. She put on her reading glasses. She looked at the photos one at a time, slowly, like she was trying to find a way to read them differently. The table was silent. Not the comfortable silence of a family eating, the other kind. I picked up my fork. I took a bite of sweet potato casserole. I chewed. I swallowed. I took another bite. I did not explain the photos. I did not narrate what they showed. I did not give a speech. The evidence was sitting on every phone at the table and on every phone in the extended family. It did not need my voice. It just needed to exist. Megan was the first to speak. "So you're recording my son? You set up cameras to spy on a 9-year-old? What is wrong with you?" She did not address the photos. She did not say, "Caleb, is this true?" She did not look at Lily. She attacked the evidence for existing. In 10 seconds, she tried to turn the subject from, "Your son lied and broke a little girl's tablet," to, "You are a paranoid uncle who surveils children." I took another bite. I did not answer her. My mother put down her phone. She picked up the pie server. She started cutting slices. "Okay, so he broke it. Kids break things. He's 9. Can we please just move on and have dessert?" She acknowledged the breakage. She refused to acknowledge the lie. The fact that her grandson lied. That her daughter enforced the lie. That she herself sealed the lie. That a 7-year-old girl was forced to apologize for something she did not do and was moved to a folding chair in the corner. All of that was packaged into, "Can we move on?" She placed a slice of pie on a plate. She pushed it toward me. Nobody picked up a plate. Nobody reached for a fork. The pie sat there. Then the group chat started moving. Cousin David, who was not at the table, who was sitting at home in his apartment 30 miles away, typed one message. Wait, is this the same thing that happened at Christmas? 9 words. That is all it took to crack the floor open, because now it was not about one Easter incident. It was about a pattern. Other cousins started scrolling back through old messages. Someone found the Christmas conversation where my mother called Lily dramatic. Someone remembered the Thanksgiving incident with the glass. The group chat became an archaeology site. Layers of history being dug up in real time. Megan's eyes were wet. Not immediately. About 90 seconds after the photos loaded, the tears came when she realized the extended family could see everything. She was not crying because she was sorry. She was crying because she was exposed. You're trying to humiliate me in front of my whole family on Easter. Is that what you wanted? To make me look like a terrible mother? The woman who publicly accused a 7-year-old of lying, who demanded a forced apology in front of 11 people, who sat satisfied while a child ate nothing at a corner chair, was now the victim. My mother's phone buzzed, then buzzed again. She excused herself to the kitchen. She said she needed napkins. She did not need napkins. Through the doorway, I could see her thumbs moving fast. She was texting. Aunt Carol, Uncle Jim, Cousin Maria. Her message I found out later. Small misunderstanding at Easter dinner. Kids being kids. Everything is fine. Happy Easter. She did not know that the group chat I sent the photos to included Aunt Carol, Uncle Jim, and Cousin Maria. They were reading her "everything is fine" text while looking at photos of her grandson throwing a little girl's tablet onto concrete. The contradiction was visible to everyone simultaneously. Her narrative control collapsed in real time. I stood up. I did not say anything to Megan. I did not respond to my mother. I did not address the table. I walked to the corner where Lily was sitting in the folding chair. I kneeled down. I buttoned her coat. I picked up the 2 halves of her tablet and put them in my jacket pocket. I took her hand. She slid off the chair. We walked to the front door. I opened it. The April air came in. It was cool and clean and had nothing to do with that table. Behind me, I heard Megan's voice, tight and controlled. Really? You're just leaving? I did not turn around. I walked my daughter to the car. I buckled her seatbelt. I got in the driver's seat. I started the engine. In the rearview mirror, I could see the front door was still open. Nobody came out. The pie was still on the table. The family group chat was still buzzing. The folding chair at the corner of the table was still there, slightly tilted, with no one in it. I put the car in reverse. Lily was quiet in the back seat. I adjusted the mirror and caught her reflection. She was looking out the window. Not crying, not angry, just looking. Hey, yeah? You're not a liar. She looked at me in the mirror. She nodded once. Small nod. Then she went back to looking out the window. I turned the radio on. Low volume. We drove home. Lily fell asleep in the car. I carried her inside, took off her shoes, pulled the blanket up. The broken tablet was in my jacket pocket. I took it out and sat at the kitchen table looking at the 2 halves. The screen was shattered, but I could still see the edge of her last drawing underneath the cracks. A house with a big sun. I got clear tape from the drawer and carefully taped the 2 halves together. The screen would never turn on again, but I taped it anyway so it would look whole when she woke up. I put it on her nightstand. My phone had 6 missed calls. Mom, Megan, 2 aunts. Megan's husband. 1 unknown number. I put the phone on silent and placed it in the kitchen drawer. Mom called at 10:47 p.m. I let it ring. She called again at 11:02. I let it ring. At 11:15 she sent a text. You didn't have to do that in front of everyone. Not, is she okay? Not, I'm sorry. Not, I was wrong. I locked the phone. Yeah, I sat in the chair next to Lily's bed and watched her breathe until 2 a.m. I thought about every holiday I brought her to that house, believing it would be different. It was never different. I just kept choosing hope over evidence. A record keeper who ignored his own records when it came to his mother. The next morning, I made Lily chocolate chip pancakes. Extra chips. She ate slowly. She did not mention Easter. She talked about a book she's reading at school. She talked about a girl in her class who has a pet hamster named Butterscotch. She talked about everything except what happened. I did not push. I drove her to school. At the drop-off, she unbuckled, grabbed her backpack, opened the door, stopped, turned around. "Thank you for believing me, Daddy." She closed the door and walked into school. I sat in the parking lot for 4 minutes, more the same amount of time my sister took to convict my daughter. Except my 4 minutes were spent trying not to cry at 8:15 in the morning in a school parking lot. My phone showed 14 missed calls. I did not open them. I put the car in drive. The family group chat went dead. Not one message after Easter. 14 people who talked every single day had nothing to say. I checked it once on Tuesday night. Scrolled up. My photos, my timestamps, and then nothing. Just silence where a family used to be. Mom tried on Wednesday. A long text. "I know things got out of hand at Easter. I've been thinking about it. I think everyone was emotional, and maybe things were said that shouldn't have been said. I just want my family together. Can you come for dinner Sunday so we can talk about this like adults?" She said, "Things got out of hand," not, "I was wrong." She said, "Things were said," not, "I accused your daughter of lying." She said, "Like adults," as if my daughter's humiliation was a childish misunderstanding. I did not reply. 3 weeks after Easter, Megan sent a text. 4 sentences. "I think we need some space from each other. This whole thing got blown out of proportion. I hope you're happy with how Easter turned out. Let me know when you want to act like family again." I read it at the kitchen table. Lily was in the next room drawing flowers on paper because her tablet was broken and nobody replaced it except me. Blown out of proportion. My daughter was forced to apologize for something she did not do, moved to a folding chair in the corner, and had her truth denied by every adult in the room. Blown out of proportion. I put the phone face down on the table. I walked to the next room. I sat on the floor. Lily handed me a green crayon. "Can you draw the stems? I'm bad at stems." I drew stems. I never replied to the text. 2 months after Easter, Mom showed up at my apartment on a Saturday morning. She brought a baking dish. Lasagna. Lily's favorite. She stood at the door holding it like an offering. "Can I come in?" I made her favorite. "Did you bring an apology too, or just the lasagna?" She blinked. "I think we all need to move past this." "She's 7, Mom. She asked me if you believe her now." I didn't have an answer. "Do you want to give me one?" Her eyes filled. She looked at the lasagna. She looked at me. "Wasi, it's not that simple." "It is exactly that simple." I took the lasagna because Lily would like it. I did not invite her in. She drove home. She did not come back. A month later, Caleb's school called Megan. Not about grades, about behavior. He had been bullying a younger student, taking her things and blaming her when the teacher asked. The teacher called it blame-shifting behavior. Megan was called in for a parent conference. She sat across from the teacher hearing her son described as a child who lies reflexively and shifts blame to smaller kids. She did not connect it to Easter. She did not connect it to the years of protection and 0 consequences. She told the teacher, "He's going through a hard time. His uncle caused family drama recently." I heard about it from cousin David weeks later. I did not feel vindicated. I felt tired. And because Caleb is not a villain. He is 9. He learned that lying works because every adult in his life taught him it works. I do not hate him. I grieve for him. In the same chair where I sit at 2 a.m. when Lily is asleep. David also told me they made a new group chat, without me. They were planning 4th of July. My name had not come up. "You're not going, are you?" "No." "Good." Lily came home from school with a drawing. Her teacher asked everyone to draw their family. Lily drew 2 people, herself and me. No grandmother, no aunt, no cousin, just 2 stick figures holding hands under a yellow sun. She drew a heart between them. She dotted the I in her name at the bottom with a heart. She still does that. I put it on the fridge. I look at it every morning while the coffee brews. 2 people. That is her family now. That is what it shrunk to. She drew it with a smile on both stick figures. which means she is not sad about it. She is settled. She has made peace with a smaller family faster than I have. I look at that drawing and feel the weight of every holiday, every table, every time I drove to my mother's house hoping it would be different. All of it narrowed down to two stick figures with big smiles and no one else in the frame. My daughter drew the truth. She always does. A random Saturday in June. No holiday, no occasion. I set a small table in the apartment. 2 place settings. Real plates, not paper. A tablecloth Lily picked out. It has sunflowers on it. We made pasta together. She stirred the sauce. I cut the bread. She set the table herself and put a folded paper towel at each place because we do not have cloth napkins, and she said paper towels work just as good. We sat down. She said grace. It was short. Thank you for the food and thank you for my daddy. We ate. She talked about wanting to save up for a new tablet. She said, I'll do extra chores, like last time. I said, like last time. She smiled. I smiled. No extended family, no group chat coordination, no stress about seating or folding chairs or who gets the big plate. My phone was charging in the bedroom. I did not check it once. After dinner, while Lily was brushing her teeth, I opened the phone. I went to the folder, the one labeled Holidays. Thanksgiving 2023. Christmas 2023. 4th of July 2024. Easter 2025. 4 subfolders. I looked at them for a long time. Then I created a new folder. I labeled it Closed. I moved all 4 subfolders into it. I did not delete them. I just closed them. I put the phone down. I went to Lily's room. She was already in bed. The taped tablet was still on the nightstand. The sunflower tablecloth was still on the table. The drawing was still on the fridge. Daddy, can you draw stems with me tomorrow? Always? She closed her eyes. I sat in the chair. I did not stay until 2 a.m. this time. I went to bed at 11. I slept. The family did not collapse in one dramatic explosion. There was no courtroom, no screaming match, no big final confrontation. It just got quieter. The calls got less frequent. The texts got shorter. The invitations stopped coming. And somewhere between Easter Sunday and a random Saturday in June, a man who kept records for years decided the case was closed. Not because justice was served, not because anyone apologized, but because his daughter drew 2 stick figures under a yellow sun, and that was enough.